Hey guys, Steve again, lining to my path. We're out playing around on the creek bank, doing a bit or two today. And just moving around out here, we got to noticing all the stuff just laying around. And the flood's been brought in. We live in a very beautiful place. I'm sure each person thinks that if they have an opportunity to get out in nature. But we also live in a very dirty and trashy place. I'm sure each person thinks that as well. It doesn't matter how far back in the woods you go, you're going to find a pop can, a beer bottle, a beanie weenie can, something that somebody has thrown down while hunting or hiking. There's just no way around it. Not preaching to anybody, but if you pack it in, pack it out. Don't throw it down and say, well, somebody might can use it one of these days. No, pack it in, pack it out. Throw it in a backpack. If it's paper, burn it. It's no big deal. Bury it if you have to. At least it won't be laying there for everybody to see. But since things are the way they are, we were just going to take a walk up the creek bank, just a few hundred yards here, and to see what all we could find that could be useful if we needed to. The thing about that, it changes every time a good rain comes. What's here today, let a good rain come tomorrow, we'll have a whole new Walmart worth of trash laying here we might can use. We're going to head up the creek bank, take y'all with us, see what we can find out. Okay guys, I'm standing exactly where I was when I had the camera pointed at me. All I've done is turn around and faced upstream. You can see houses up through there. We're going to walk from here about to that little set of shoals up there. Not hardly that far, and that's not even 100 yards. Probably more like 75. And I guarantee you we can find at least 10 things, if not more, between here and there that could be useful if we had to use it. Well, we've took about 8 steps. You can see right there is our tripod. That's where the first shot was taken. And we found this. It's a piece of vinyl siding. And over there, that's a bag for my tripod, so it don't count. This is a piece of vinyl siding off of a house. You could use this as part of your shelter material. If you're in this sand type stuff like here on a creek bank, you could use it to dig with. And that's just a couple of things I can think of off the top of my head. Alright guys, we've not went too many more steps at all. And we found a container. It's plastic. It can be used to store water. If you rig it up right, it can also be used to boil water. And also, right over here, behind my old dog, is what looks like an old feed sack that's washed down caught in this tree. Now those strands are a type of synthetic material. If you've never seen a real feed sack, or the kind they use nowadays anyway. And those can be used for cordage. I wouldn't trust them for the strongest thing, but for small things they could be used. And good piles like this where debris and stuff is washed up on the bank during the flood stage, good place to find this type of stuff. So that's item 2 and 3 that could be used if we needed to. Item number 4, guys, is something you might not think of while you're lost or out in the wild. But that's nothing but a plastic coat hanger. What could you use it for? Plastic coat hanger. Clothes get wet, throw them on there, hang them by the fire, hang them up the tree on a good sunny day, and they'll dry. No telling how many things you can come up with that. This is another container, but I will count it as number 5 because it is glass and it does have the lid on it. So it can be used to store water, boil water, break it, get you a cutting edge off of it. Many different uses. It's got an old piece of metal here. Something you could use as a reflector for your fire. Something to cook on if you had to, and you could get a lot of the rust off, or use to patch in a shelter. Number 6 here is part of an old blanket, sweater, or something. You could take that apart and there's all kinds of cordage right there. You can cut it apart and use as patches for your clothing that gets torn or worn out. And another thing, it has many, many things that pop into mind. Number 6. Number 8. No, this ain't a slinky, but it is some good coiled up wire to be used to tie up things. It looks like it can be stripped down to get to an inner wire. There's a lot of stuff I'm not showing because I know they've been here a while. But that's the way they're all going to be. It could still be useful things. Back down the creek a little piece, there was a cinder block buried in the sand. There's all kinds, for some reason, of solid red brick. Things like that can be used to make your cook pit, fire hearth, whatever you want to call it. Be used to build reflectors. They will absorb heat, but they will reflect a lot of it as well. If you find somebody else, or if somebody with you, there's a football to entertain your time. Got a piece of fiberglass, looks like here, used to throw in the shelter, patch up a hole, or use it. That'd make a real good digging tool in the sand. Really good. I found an old dog walking around. She's mine though, she came with me. Here's one of those good brick I was talking about. Flat, solid. Real addition to a hearth. As like most places, there's all kinds of broken glass here. Use any of that as a cutting edge. Some of it may be made just right where you can use it as a help for fire starting. Got a piece of, looks like telephone wire there. You can break down, use as type of cordage. There's some pieces of cordage that's going into what looks like a little pouch of some sort. That's what it is. There's actually 2 of them, one right here. Get all the sand and such as that out of there. You can use that to tote stuff in. Got a good piece of cordage here. That's a piece of plaited rope. Looks like numerous strands you could take apart and use. Small piece of weed eater line. That's the orange thing showing up there. This is one of those things that's been here a while but can still be used. That's a rather large piece of metal right there. Looks like tin. Probably come off the side of a barn or something. Old bullet holes in it. And I noticed right over here, I'm sure you come up with 500 reasons. I can't think of any right off, but there's almost a, looks like a full garden hose wrapped around that tree. Running a little piping system from the creek down next to your shelter. Sardine can. Well, what good is that? Well, actually, you can use it to dig with. You can use it as a spoon. Use it as a scraper on hides. Use it as a grill top. Many uses. Nothing I really want to do, but if I had to, there it is. And it looks like right over here, we may have like a rug like you lay down or something. Actually, guys, that may be a sweater. That is a sweater. Put that out in the water, get all the grimy out of it. It's been there so long it's got grass growing in it. But that might be some extra cover in a need-be situation. This is an old Coca-Cola bottle cap. Sorry, I'll get it back in frame. It's metal. And the way it's made, I think it came off the old glass 16-ounce bottles, which is something you don't even see anymore. That don't seem like much. But you can cut them rounded edges off. Just leave the top, bend it in half, and that'd make a handy dandy little fishing lure. Something to flash and attract them in. That is old. Found this laying here. It's some type of old hose. I don't know what's been through it, and that would be a little dangerous to guess. But if you absolutely had to, that could be used as a straw. This water here, yeah, it's flowing and looks good and everything, but you don't want to just drink it without purifying it. Keep that with you, and if you find puddles in a tree trunk or something that you know is rainwater, that'd be a way to get it out of there. Taking a chance on not knowing what's been running through it. Have to. Alright, we're back from our little trek up the creek there. Found countless things that we used. Some I didn't even put on here, because we'd already seen something we used for that 3 or 4 times. You may think, yeah, well, you find all this because in a residential area, you know, there's houses at least somewhat nearby. You wouldn't find that if you was out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, you would. These overflows, drainages, creeks, rivers, they'll carry trash for miles. Now, this is just a small creek, and just right here behind my house, and it doesn't go, I don't know, might have a total run of 7 or 8 miles. But you go down here on the Clinch, or any good-sized river, I guarantee you this stuff has come out of this creek that's went all the way down into the Tennessee River by following along the Clinch. They'll carry them for miles and miles, state to state. So always be on the lookout. And yeah, there's a lot of things here, you know, I wouldn't want to go use the top of a sardine can, God knows how old, and use a spoon to eat something that I found or killed or whatever. If you had to, you had to. I wouldn't want to use a Dr. Enough bottle that had a lid on it. No telling who had done what inside of it. But if you have to, you have to. You can always purify them, at least to some extent. And the way it looks just in the little walk I took, if you're ever stuck somewhere beside of a creek or a river and you can't find a container and you can't find cordage, and you're walking around with your eyes closed, well, this is laying everywhere. Standing here right now. There's plastic laying here that can be used. I put a piece of an old cloth. It looks to be, it's dirty, I can't tell for sure, but it looks to be like a cotton washcloth. That's the charcloth material right there. There's stuff laying everywhere. And it's interesting, just instead of saying, well, look at all that trash, which is bad, and I don't like it. I wish none of it was here. But since it is, it's kind of interesting to look at it as you're walking by and say, well, what could I use that for, or something similar? Could this be helpful? I come up with a few reasons, or just one, is it worth keeping or not? I say just in case. I hope to never be in a situation where it gets like that. Be put in one forcibly. But, you know, there's overnight trips, weekend trips, where you kind of do it just to say you've done it, just to see if you could do it if you had to. Nobody wants to be stuck out in the middle of nowhere and using trash on a creek bank to live. And I know some people get into this type of stuff, into the bushcraft and everything like that, because they're planning for something. All these end-of-the-world scenarios and things like that. I do it because I enjoy it. If something was to happen where I needed it, yeah, I can make do. I've got the things with me that I need. Things I don't have, I know what to look for. Because in an area like I live, and yeah, I've got a main road not too far out here from the house. Double-sided road with lines in the middle. But I can also drive about 15 minutes and hit a gravel road and stay on gravel for as long as I want. I used to do that a lot. And you never know when you're going to break down. And most of those places that have those gravel roads don't have real good cell service. So you could end up stuck at least for a day or two, not necessarily stuck on top of the Alps or something type scenario. And not necessarily a end of the world type thing, but just something that could be big, but if you're prepared and you have the things with you and the knowledge with you, then it can actually become pretty interesting. And that's why I get into it. It's fun to me. I like spending time with Trevor doing it. I've met a lot of great people doing it. I'm definitely not planning for the end of the world. The way I see it, there's only one way that the world's going to end, and I'm not going to be here when that happens anyway. That's when it's time for Jesus to come back and take us home. I'm not going to have to worry about finding water after that, because I'll be somewhere where I'll thirst no more. But there is other situations. Broke down vehicle, bad snowstorm closes the roads and you're stuck right in the middle. You know, all kinds of things like that. So to me, it's not really a preparatory thing. It may end up being that way. It's just fun for me. It's interesting. It's like with the magnifying glass. We shot the bid earlier today. A buddy of mine showed up. We were out here 2 or 3 hours just seeing what we could get to light using a magnifying glass in the sun. Things like that's good to know, just in case. But it's also fun whether anything happens or not. At least it is to me, and I'm sure it is to a bunch of people. But anyway, thanks for taking the walk up the creek with me. We appreciate you watching everything we do. Thank you so much for your support, comments. We ask that you let us know what you'd like to see next. And y'all be safe. When you're out practicing these things, don't let a day of fun end up with a splint on your leg because you were being careless. So we thank you once again. Y'all have a good one, and God bless.
The circle be unbroken by Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.